at any rate, I've been in e-commerce since January of '06, and I've mostly been in apparel. I noticed some of you guys are in apparel as well. So I'm coming from the perspective of someone who's running an e-com site, owning the P&L, marketing, and soup to nuts as far as keeping the e-com business going and selling things, essentially. I'm going to talk a little bit less about myself and more a little bit about TEMPTU, because it's very possible that most of you have not heard of TEMPTU. So that'll be actually, I think, a little bit of fun. And I'm going to keep things very simple and give some examples about how we use Qubit for personalizing the experience. And a really important thing for holiday, promo analysis. Because you all do hindsights, you all do quarterly business reviews. You're always looking to kind of learn and repeat what works and stop doing what didn't work. So even if you're in luxury, you may say, I don't do promos. You still do events. And so you can just replace the word promo with event, and it's still going to be very relevant for you. So hopefully you'll have some good takeaways from that. So TEMPTU is actually pronounced TEMPTU, kind of how I've spelled it phonetically up here. It's about a 35-year-old company, but kind of still a startup in many ways because it's very small. We're probably less than 30 employees, and have a very long heritage. We got our start in temporary tattoos, thus the name TEMPTU. Thank you. You're with me. Thank you. So you may recognize this is De Niro in Cape Fear, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Great movie. And Beyonce. Other famous instances of our tattoos are throughout movies, as well as I think one of the ones you may remember is Rebecca Romaine in X-Men, where she's all blue. So that gets us to kind of the next slide, which is, does anyone know what this is? It may look slightly recreational. I will get drug tested for that comment by my employer. But it's not, actually. This is an airbrush. So professional makeup artists in movies and runway have always used an airbrush like this. And so the makeup comes in a bottle, and you'll have all kinds of different colors. And you put it in this cup, and it comes out, the air pushes through, and it comes out a little needle. And so you have very precise control and a very gradual building of the makeup. And you also have the ability to mix a lot of colors by using a lot of different bottles. So it's a lot of artistry and color theory and really cool stuff like that. So what you've seen probably in any runway, any magazine cover, any movie is airbrush makeup that TEMPTU developed and transitioned from temporary tattoos into airbrush makeup, probably because of our ability to get things to stay on the skin very well with the temporary tattoos. So it really is a great product that gives perfect skin, and you'll see it on basically everybody here. This is the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, W, InStyle, O, everywhere. Also, some amazing stuff that these pro artists do in editorial, and just really transformational, exciting artistry type stuff with makeup, right? So this is just an example of all TEMPTU. Pretty cool, right? All right. I told you this part would be fun, right? All right, so what did TEMPTU do for the industry, and who cares, right? There's a bunch of airbrush companies out there. They're pretty cheesy, fine, whatever. So this is the gun, right? When you use it, you have to clean it, which involves taking apart all of the various pieces of the gun, because you've got to get that color out and that makeup out for next time you use it. So there's, 32 pieces here. That sucks, okay? Not to mention the compressor is this big car battery nasty thing, right? So if you're a professional makeup artist and you're going to Fashion Week, which our customers do, our pro artists do, you're carrying this enormously loud, annoying thing, and then you've got to clean this gun. My life sucks, right? I can still do really beautiful things like that, but geez, Louises, let go of this is hard. So what TEMPTU did, which is exciting from the standpoint of technology, and everybody says they're a technology company, so I don't like to do that, but what we did was we developed this lightweight, compact system, and I have one, just to pass around, because I thought many of you may not have seen it. So you come, it's small, right? So I'm going to pass this around. Don't worry, I'm watching it. It's very light, right? And so you get the air compressor is actually in this little unit. It's relatively light. And then you get what, this is the technology part, you get a pod or a bottle of makeup. And this is where our patents are. That's it over there. I'm going to take the sticker off and attach it and pass it around so you guys can see how this really works. So there's a little chrome cap. It comes off like that. There's a plug you unplug. I'm not going to unplug it. You snap it on. No more cleaning of that nasty gun. You're done. You want to change color. It chops. It spins. It does all kinds of things. Anyway, you snap it on, and you're basically ready to go, and you're not cleaning that gun in between colors. So all of our technology and patents are in the pod, but the rest of the industry followed, and this is our innovation and our device that I'll pass around so you guys can kind of feel it, see how light it is, etc. So the advantage of airbrush for customers is that it is better than applying foundation with your fingers because it's a much more natural look. You're kind of pixelating, spraying it on your face versus smearing and covering everything entirely. So we actually have a consumer business and a pro business. So our heritage is in the pro business. Very exciting, dramatic, editorial type stuff that these artists really do. Not surprisingly, that business is concentrated in New York and LA. These guys are interested in advancing their artistry, their technical skills, and growing their business. They're most often entrepreneurs, right? Work for themselves. They may do bridal weekends and then go during the week do a photo shoot for a famous magazine. So we actually have a pro site focused on these guys. We have a consumer site focused on consumers. And this is where we've been growing most recently. Our customers, women, 35 to 55, majority household income. We're not talking very, very wealthy customers, and the unit is expensive. The unit is around $200, give or take. And you're really asking somebody to change how they do their makeup every day. So from a technology standpoint and a marketing hurdle, it's an interesting and exciting challenge. I have a background in brand marketing, and I got started in e-com in 2006, like I said. So this is a very exciting, fun challenge, right? Because we have two digital businesses with different customers, and we're constantly trying to improve our experience. So I didn't really plan that. Personalizing the experience, that was an easy transition. I'm going to talk through a couple examples where we use Qubit. And in terms of holiday, you're kind of almost always preparing for holiday. If you're a big retailer that has a huge boost of its business in Q4, basically everything you do for the whole year, you're kind of optimizing and learning to have the best well-oiled machine that you possibly can have and the best experience you can have for your customers in that critical selling period, because so much volume is there. Yeah, so you won't see any pictures of Santas or any of that snow or on anything I'm going to show you today. Okay, so you can motivate people with the carrot or the stick, right? We've all heard that, right? Everyone likes the carrot. The carrot is actually more effective. So this is a mini bag upsell, we call it. So what we do is we use our free shipping threshold, which is 50. And so many of these pods, the bottle of the makeup, essentially, that hopefully is still going around, are $45, $40, $30 in that range. So if someone buys a pod, they're not exactly, this is a returning customer because they have a unit, they're not exactly at the free shipping threshold, but they're close. So all I have to do is point it out. You're close. Oh, what if you get our Color True lip gloss? You'll suddenly be above 50. Just an extra little gloss, why not? Who doesn't need an extra gloss? Very effective. We do the same thing with lipstick, and so we've been rolling this out across our businesses because it is helping conversion. We're actually doing it on mobile, which is really exciting. And so, look for these ways to use the carrot because customers will respond. Everybody wants free shipping. How can you look at your experience and say, these are the places where I can point it out to my customer and say, okay, go ahead, convert. Hit confirm place order, hit checkout, and we'll get to the next spot. You can see this is some of the Qubit test analysis. We're about halfway there with our sample size, but we're seeing a conversion lift of 2.12. I'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. That's pretty decent. Okay, so this is one of my other mantras. My team is here. They probably hear me say this a lot. Work with what you got. So one of the things we had on the site was, and it's very common, is you may also like. So this is our PDP. This is our Colored True lipstick, and it says right here, you may also like. And so we're doing typical cross-sell, upsell type stuff. Nothing, innovative or new there, right? Well, thought to myself, we can actually personalize the experience and change that based on what the user is looking at, their browse behavior, what PDPs have they hit already. So now it's really personalized because you're showing me what I just looked at. So the places that we do this and where it makes the most sense is not only on the PDP, but also in the cart, where it can really drive AOV up. Oh, I was looking at that too. Maybe I should get that too, kind of thing. So what we do, and we control this with Qubit, and we use very smart business rules to provide when we show recently viewed, and some of them are simple and some of them are not. The ones that are simple is, obviously, it's you may also like, and then once you hit one or more PDP page views, we start to serve you what you just saw. So in this example, when I was making this presentation, I had just looked at the primer, and then I had just looked at the neutralizer wheel, and now I'm on our blush pod. So this is just another way to kind of personalize the experience. It sounds very simple, but it's actually very effective in making what your customer is seeing relevant to their experience and what they're interested in. This is a lot like Olga's talk to users. This is, know your customer. She looks angry. She's not. She actually likes me. No, I'm kidding. So you have to know kind of what motivates your user. Our pro community, I mentioned this before, they're interested in advancing their skills and their artistry, and they do also want discounts. They're business owners. They're trying to grow their business. So they look for inspiration and discounts. So how can I serve that up, right? Well, I can serve that up via some specific banners based on what they're looking at. We have one that points out inspirational site content and artistry type work. We have another one that we trigger based on our pro membership, which is a loyalty program that does give them a discount on products. They have to actually give us their credentials to show that they are a makeup artist and not a customer, et cetera. But with Qubit, we can do this in a much more sophisticated way than we can do it on our own, for sure. So URL contains our pro site, not our consumer site. Session minimum page views is 4. Page type is category. Basket total is 0. Times to show per user is once. Times to show per session is once. So we can actually get a little fine-tuned and a little granular on how and when we show these two different banners based on what the user is doing. All right, so this one is a little more related to holiday than others, because you really want to grow your list in advance of holiday. It's not unusual to have an email pop-up banner to kind of do email capture to new users. With Qubit, we can be more sophisticated about how and when we serve it. So we serve it to new users when we can tell they're new. We're actually looking at this is what we're doing right now with Grace, ups to Grace. We're actually looking at how to serve this to returning users in a way that is relevant, because if they're a returning user, I don't know if I have their email address or not. So we're trying to sort out how do we serve that to returning users who we don't have an email address for. So that's an exciting and fun challenge. At any rate, the promo, you get 10% off on your first order, is what gives you kind of the conversion lift. But with this one, the goal is not only conversion, but it's also email capture. I want them to put in their email address rather than just hit the X and get the pop-up out of their way, right? So with Qubit, we can be a little more sensitive as to when we serve it and how we serve it. And then these last bullets here relate to just kind of general smart ways to think about your business. You want to balance whatever discount you give, the 10%, the 20%, whatever it is, with the lift to name capture. How many more names do I get if I change the 10% to 20? And is that paying for itself? Is my email revenue per name worth it from a CPA perspective? And then if I get really smart, I'm like looking at my email revenue per name by email source. Is this capture giving me a better or worse customer than the email sign up at the bottom of my site? So these are just smart things to be asking yourself about your business and how you're growing your list, because your list, as you guys all know, is a leading indicator for sales growth, right? Right. Okay. Oh, geotargeting. These are the last two examples, and they're kind of cool. They're geotargeting. So we actually use Qubit for some geotargeting stuff. I mentioned this is a pro, an image of our pro friends and family. which happened very recently. So our pro customer is concentrated in New York and LA. No surprise, movies, photo shoots, fashion, etc. So we actually have a presence in New York and LA. So we have a little tiny subtle tear that happens in that corner when we can identify you as being in New York or LA or within a so many mile radius of our two physical locations. And it says, visit us. So this is not a test per se. This is a way to kind of personalize the experience. We are testing it, but here's an example where we're not really testing it and we're just using it to geo-target. So this one's kind of, are you here? This one's like, will you be there? This is about us being at a trade show. So there's a lot of makeup shows that pros attend. And they actually travel pretty far, you'd be surprised. Our mileage radius for some of these shows gets pretty wide. And this is an example of the banner on mobile. We'll be at the Met Pavilion, booth B8 or whatever. So we actually do this 100%. We're not testing A/B. We just say, give it to everybody who matches this criteria around this mileage radius on the pro site. And the amazing thing is we really didn't, sometimes you do these things, you don't have the best landing page in the world. We're actually landing people on our pro membership because we don't have a good place to land them. Would you believe, and this is how some of the fun things about e-commerce, like sometimes you get surprised by what customers do. We have actually sold pro memberships, and there's an annual fee, from this banner. Weird, right? But hey, I'll take it. But I think that does show to the power of being relevant to what your customer, and like Olga was saying, talking to your users. You're not going to know it any other way. Okay, so promo analysis. So this part could get very dry and boring. Okay, let's be honest, right? So, I was up late at night thinking, well, how do I make this part interesting? Because I banged the bullets out in like 20 minutes, and it looked like it. And then I'm like, God, I wrote this, and I'm going to fall asleep. That's not a good sign. So we got 2 boring slides, and then I got a video clip that shows why this is important, okay? So I'll just hit these 2 slides quickly and talk a little bit about, what are you looking at? What's your goal? Because as kind of owners of your business, you have to be very disciplined in running an event or running a promotion because you're spending money, right? So are you looking for lift above baseline? What would my business be without that event or promotion? Are you looking at lift above your cost to run that promotion? Because that's a different answer. Are you looking for a lift above expectations? Because some of you have great forecasting teams. Some of you forecast yourself, like I do. Are you looking for just some specific lift over LY, over last year? That's going to get you bonused, right? It's going to get your boss bonus and get you promoted, right? So these are the different things you could be looking for when you're running promotions. Now, you can't do any of this unless you know your baseline, your cost, your forecast, or your results last year for the same or a similar promo or event. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense, right? So I have to do a fair amount of setup on this clip we're going to run, okay? How many of you guys have been in the spot, and this happens in e-com departments everywhere, where maybe you're not as prepared as you ought to be. You're in front of your boss is trying to get to the bottom of an issue or an event or anything, right? And they're asking a series of questions. And as this series of questions continue, you're feeling more nervous because you're less prepared and you have less and less of the answers the person's looking for. Has anyone been there? Okay. Thank you. All right. It's not a good feeling, right? And you get uncomfortable. Your boss is starting to, So this is why this promo analysis part is important. This clip, I'll say 3 more things about this clip before I play it. It's long. If you haven't seen the movie, it's Burn After Reading. I highly recommend it. It's a dark comedy. It's got an A-list cast. It's one of my absolute favorites. When I was thinking late on how I'm going to make this kind of interesting and fun and drill the point home, the very last line of the boss is the critical part, but the fun part is their exchange. Because if you haven't seen the movie, you just have to kind of put up with the ridiculous things they say to one another and watch their reactions to each other, okay? Because the guy standing in the tie is the ill-prepared e-com manager. And the guy sitting, the bald guy, this guy, is his boss just trying to understand what the hell went on, right? So when it's over, the key exchange at the end is this guy, and he drops tons of F-bombs. So if you don't like F-bombs, I think we're okay. We do live in the tri-state area. We've probably all heard it before. I have. The other thing I want to say as a disclaimer about this clip is that it makes fun of the government. So these guys work for the CIA. So if you don't like that, cover your eyes, plug your ears. But I'll just let the clip play at this point, all right? So hopefully I will.
Wait a minute. Where is the Treasury guy? Farrer?
Right now?
Right now.
He is in a detention room in Washington, Dulles.
Why?
He's trying to board a flight to Venezuela. We had his name on a hot list. CBP pulled him in. Don't know why he was trying to go to Venezuela.
You don't know.
No, sir.
We have no extradition with Venezuela.
Oh. So what should we do with him?
For fuck's sake, put him on the next flight to Venezuela.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, so the gym manager is dead.
Yes, sir.
The body is...
That's gone, sir.
Okay.
But there was a, snag.
What?
Well, this analyst Cox was attacking the gym guy. It was in broad daylight on the street. Our man did not know what to do, felt he had to step in.
Yes?
He shot the analyst. He shot Cox.
Good. Great. Is he dead?
No, sir, he's in a coma. They don't think he's going to make it. They don't think. They're pretty sure that he has no brain function.
Okay. If he wakes up, we'll worry about it then. Jesus, what a clusterfuck. So that's it then. No one else really knows anything. Okay.
Well, sir, there is...
What? What?
There is the woman, the gym woman, Linda Litsky.
Oh, fuck, yeah. God. Where is she?
Oh, we picked her up. We have her.
We have her? To do what with?
She says she'll play ball if we pay for some, I know this sounds odd, some surgeries that she wants. Cosmetic surgery. She says she'll sit on everything.
How much?
There were several procedures altogether. They
Pay it.
couldn't... Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't fucking know either. I guess we learned not to do it again.
Yes, sir.
I'm fucked if I know what we did.
Yes, sir. It's hard to say.
Jesus fucking Christ.
All right, so thanks for bringing it. It's a long clip, but yeah, go ahead. I mean, they're good. These guys are great. So, obviously the guy in the tie is in the hot seat. You can tell he's just trying to like, oh God, what's the next question? He didn't even know they didn't have extradition with Venezuela, which now I know, but apparently he should know. And his boss is really just trying to understand what happened. So this is why, these sorts of things are important, right? Because you really just need to know what happened, why, what worked so you can do it again, and what didn't work so you don't do it again. So that's why that last piece of that clip was so important. So this is one way to kind of do it yourself. Now, hopefully you guys can see this, but these KPIs are essentially what are the critical pieces that can get you started on digging and understanding an event on your e-com site. So I'll take you through traffic, orders or transaction, units, items sold, AUR, average unit retail, which is important if you're promoting, that'll go down. AOV, we all know that's important, average order value, or it's called AOS sometimes. UPT, units per transaction. Conversion rate, the most sensitive KPI of them all, which we love. Revenue, the big mama we love. And then these are some kind of, KPIs that I think also kind of help compare events to each other: revenue per visit, marketing spend, traffic per dollar spent, and your CPO or CPA. So what we're looking at is pre-campaign, during campaign, last year's campaign, and the variance. So me and my team do this on all our events, and it really is informative about what worked and what didn't work, and then what the levers are and what it drove something to be successful or not. Sometimes it's traffic, sometimes it's conversion. You guys know how the KPIs work. But this is just a DIY tool I wanted to share with you guys because we found it very effective. One of the new things that we're doing, because one of our businesses is soft and one of them is strong, we're having to run promotions much longer on the softer business to get the same amount of revenue. So this is a cool metric. We're actually adding dollars per promotional day, which is a way to kind of set promotions that are of different lengths on the same playing field, so to speak. So, and you guys know all this too, but once you get past the numbers, it's not all in the numbers. A lot of your results can vary dramatically based on the creative execution, how strong the creative was, how well it resonated with your customers. Promotion exclusions or event exclusions or inclusions can really make or break a situation, so those are things to always think about as well. Your service levels are another one. Customer service, you could be terribly understaffed and have a very bad experience for a huge swath of customers, and that could affect that event and possibly some events thereafter. Same thing with product quality. You guys know how hard Lululemon got hit with that see-through capri incident, Capri-gate or whatever it was, like 2 years ago or whatever. So product quality, that can affect your results, and you may have nothing to do with product development or merchandising, but you need to understand all of that when you look at these numbers. Your stock level, you may be out of stock on your top SKU. That's going to hurt you, especially if your top SKU makes a huge percent of your business. And then also brand strength, how your brand is doing in the marketplace. Certain brands have more of that and more brand equity and awareness than others, and that really helps or hurts. And this is just a quick recap of some of kind of my mantras, kind of like Olga's 5 takeaways. Use a carrot to get your customer to do what you want them to do, because they will. And if they didn't, you might have the wrong carrot, or you might be showing the carrot in the wrong place. Work with what you have. Sometimes, you may be limited. You can't do this, you can't do that. Okay, look at what you have. Do something with it. And this goes back to, the next one goes back to Olga's comment about talking to users. Well, this is just knowing your customer and knowing what's relevant and resonates with them. That'll drive everything in your business. That'll drive traffic, that'll drive conversion, that'll drive revenue for sure. Growing your list in advance of holiday. You guys may think email is, thing of the past, but actually those are your most loyal customers. If you don't have a loyalty program or don't have a database, that's the next thing you should be looking at to kind of grow your business. And then the last 2 bullets relate to the conversation we had about promo analysis and the lovely clip from Burn After Reading, which is a great movie. Watch it if you haven't. You just need to know what your goal is, know what you're comparing yourself to, and know why it worked or didn't work. Because at the end of the day, your boss, like that guy in the clip, really just wants to understand what happened so that if it was good, you can do it again, and if it was bad, you can stop doing it. And that's it.